Greetings. This is Justin Allen, the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, a podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system. And frankly, screw that. Sick of it. And it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take the measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked with the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to Kate, who is a family nurse practitioner. Currently, she is working full-time at a family practice and a bariatric surgery clinic. She started her own wellness clinic 2.5 years ago, where she provides men's health, weight loss, and female hormone replacement therapy. She's needing help with transitioning over to a more men's-focused clinic and go over a new business idea. We're helping nurse practitioners to become LegitScript certified. So, hey, Kate, how are you?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on here on a Sunday morning. So let's go ahead and get started. So tell me a little bit about yourself, how long you've been a nurse practitioner for, and what sorts of things you've been doing.
So I've been a nurse practitioner now since 1999, a long time. My background's family practice, and I worked in a variety of settings like cardiology, dermatology, um, a lot of things. And then kind of got into obesity medicine 18 years ago. I've been there forever. So I work in bariatric surgery in that realm kind of at the hospital, but I'm slowly phasing out of that because I have my own practice on the side and it's starting to consume a lot of my time. So I've been, and I just started this practice 2.5 years ago, like I said, and I was 50 years old when I did it. So
Wow. Okay.
older than everybody else. Anyway, so
All right.
but
Okay.
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's never too late, right?
Yeah, never.
Yeah. Okay. So this clinic of yours, so you opened about 2.5 years ago. So how's it doing?
It's doing pretty well. I guess I think it's doing well. I'm hoping now I can pick up some momentum with these Google ads. I've really dove in now that I have somebody helping me. I'm really kind of diving into that to kind of see how I can. I'm working in it daily, just trying to, really learn it. But seeing how that helps. Right now, my patient census is like 110. I dipped in January and February. Like I was freaking out. I had not had that happen for a while, but since I picked up some Google ads and got LegitScript certified, it's just in the last 2 weeks, just crazy.
Yeah.
So,
the LegitScript certified thing is definitely worthwhile.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I thought, oh gosh, should I do this? But I wondered for a minute because you have to use LegitScript certified pharmacies when you agree to it. So then I thought, well, this whole tirzepatide thing, what if, some of these LegitScript certified pharmacies, they're making some changes with tirzepatide. I just didn't know if that was going to lock me in. But anyway, I don't mean to go on that path right now, but so it's doing good.
I'm curious, is there a way for them to really know?
No.
Right, yeah,
no,
right.
So I had some interesting conversations with like my rep at South Lake for like an hour and a half. And I talked to Empower. I know they aren't, because I'm like, I use all these pharmacies, but then I have like 15 different pharmacies I use, but Empower told me like, or not Manpower, but South Lake told me like game day, the game day up the street has the same rep that I do for South Lake, and they're not LegitScript certified, and game day has they're LegitScript certified. So they said, just list some pharmacies, that are, and then so I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a regulatory agency, but it's so there's that is kind of one of their little they want you to use their LegitScript pharmacies.
Right. So, you play their game and you pay them. That's probably all they really care about.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because there's all these other big places. Yeah. So I'm like,
Right.
okay. So anyway, so yeah, I didn't know if that's a way, of pharmaceutical companies keeping their thumb on things a little bit, because if they can kind of control, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Maybe. Right. Who knows what's going on in the back, in the back of all that,
right.
certified stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll
So
talk about the legit script certified stuff a little bit later, because I know there's a lot of nurse practitioners out there that, want to know how to do that. And so maybe you
yeah.
can shed some light on that. So let's talk about that a little more towards the end of the episode.
Uh-huh.
So your clinic, so you've been open for about 2.5 years. So what kind of services are you providing predominantly?
So predominantly weight loss, but I am trying to transition over. I like men's health a lot. I'm not as crazy about women's hormone replacement, but I like men's health. I like I mean, my testosterone guys are so easy. I mean, they're just happy and they feel good, and they, they're lower maintenance, and so I really like that. And here's the thing: there's two big chain men's health clinics in Wichita. But other than that, there are no, because I get a lot of those guys coming to me and saying, I just feel like a number. I just feel like there's new providers all the time. So I'm working with a marketer right now. She's a college student and she just wants to take over my social media. And so in the midst of this, I was thinking like, what would happen if I really changed up my website and kind of went really for that men's health vibe. Like, I mean, basketball, hunting, like really branded myself that way. But then I'm nervous because then I'm like, because right now my site is really right, just really neutral, you know. So do I just go for that and then maybe get some men to film and really like, I don't know, my website fist bumping each other. And I just don't know how far. I don't want to scare off other people and just
Right.
go clear. Do you see? Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you. All right. So let me ask you this first. So, what percentage of your clinic right now is men's health? What percentage of it's weight loss?
So I would say 2/3 of my clinic is weight loss. I
Okay.
mean, it's so
And how
yeah.
many out of those weight loss patients? How many of them are men?
Um, Probably I would say maybe 40%. It's probably more women, maybe.
Yeah, forty
It's
percent.
probably close to 50.
Yeah, it seems about right. I feel like most with weight loss, it seems to be 30 to
Yeah,
forty
probably close to
percent men.
50.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So 50%. So if you go all men,
Uh-huh.
so you would potentially lose, basically do the math, about a third of your patients, right? Um,
Yeah.
you don't have to cut the women off that you're treating with weight loss. Still see them,
Mhm.
but just don't really accept new ones. I mean, I guess you
Okay.
could word of mouth sort of thing. I mean, I think it's stupid to throw away business, especially weight loss. It's easy, right?
Right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think rebranding as a men's health clinic is probably not a bad idea, especially if if that's what you want to do. I mean, men's health is a piece of cake, right? Like, there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably one of the easiest things you can do.
It
Like,
is.
there's nothing to it. Managing blood pressure is more difficult than testosterone
Yeah.
replacement therapy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah. So if that's what you want to move into, I would say go for it. I don't
Mhm.
think you have to necessarily rebrand your business, significantly. Changing your website up to having some more male, pictures of dudes, playing golf or whatever, working
Yeah.
out. I mean, sure, you do that, but I don't think you need to go crazy with it, right? Um, I think just a couple simple changes and then basically, saying men's health clinic at the end of your name already is pretty much all you would really have to do. Change your Google business listing to men's health testosterone clinic. They'll just start
Says
rolling.
that already. It says that already. So, and I still get women. It says weight management and men's health. So, so it says that. But would you? So not even get a separate website, maybe just keep it. Yeah, that's a headache. I don't know. What do you think? Just
Yeah, don't complicate this. I don't think you need to go crazy with it. Like, use what you have. You know what I mean? That's what I tell
okay.
people all the time. Like, whatever resources that you have in front of you, just use them. I mean, just change a few little things up and just pivot from
Okay.
there. You know what I mean? There's no point
Yeah.
in going crazy and spending a lot of money. It's just
Okay.
making a few little tweaks. Is all you really got to do. Like your logo, for example, you could change that just a little bit. That's easy. You could just go
Yeah.
to you could use Canva, for example. They have an artificial intelligence logo maker. You can just use that. I mean, take you 10
Okay.
minutes. Right.
Okay.
So, so yeah, that's what I would do. I would just rebrand it and then focus more on men. I don't think you need to advertise significantly.
Okay.
I mean, I'd say probably with the majority of your men's health patients are probably just people calling you from your Google business listing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or word of mouth. But when I stopped advertising on Google, it's just like what's happening. And so it's made a huge difference just in a week. I've been just watching it, just so because like I said, I just got this probably 2, 3 weeks ago and started advertising, and yeah, it's helped. I mean,
Well,
so far.
so in the last 2 weeks, how many patients have you got from being LegitScript certified and in Google Ads?
So last week I got 6 new patients. Okay. So, and then the week before I got 3 new patients. So this is week 3. So so we'll see. But, I just was getting blocked all the time for no matter how well, then I think it would just direct them to my website where they'd see all these terms and, like drug names and everything. And it was just like, I was just like, forget it. So I hadn't read a Google ad in months. And then December was really, really was busy. And then January and February just kind of tanked. And I know bariatric surgery numbers kind of went down, but I was like, what is going on? And so I kept waiting. It was like 4.5 months for me to find out from them. And then they kept sending me more stuff to fill out. And then I'd fill that out. Then they'd send me more stuff. And I'm just like, can you just hurry up with this? And so finally, when I got it, I was able to do it. And then I had to go on and then I had to fill out applications with Google. It's freaking. So I'm hoping that helps. But yeah, just from what little time I've had it, it's helped so I can at least run ads. And so now I can work on getting better at that.
Right. So then in the last 2 weeks, these dozen patients or so that you've gotten, how many of them are men's health? How many of them are weight loss?
So I would say 50% were men's health because I ran an ad at first that targeted men. So I went to all my competitors and looked up their keywords, plugged that into Google Ads, and then I kind of started learning geofencing around different competitors. I'm just learning, like I'm like diving into this, but I have help now in the office, so I can have time for that now. Um, so I would say 50%. Yeah, maybe more. 'Cause let me think out of those people. Yeah, 50%. So
So my advice to you right now is this is really for anybody out there. With the whole weight loss thing going on with the GLP-1s and, all this stuff, we don't really know what's going to happen in
mhm,
the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. We have no idea, right?
yeah,
They could just yank these GLP-1s from underneath us. We won't be able to do anything, right? Like, we really just
mhm,
don't know what's going to happen. So my advice to you and anyone else listening to this is definitely start focusing on other services outside of that. Because at the end of the day, that's out of your control. I mean, what can you
yeah,
do? You can't do anything. I mean, it's completely out of your control, so why worry about it? So
right,
my advice to you is to focus on the men's health, but I mean, if you're making good money with the weight loss right now, don't don't throw that away. I
yeah,
mean,
okay,
make the loot. Like
yeah,
make as
yeah,
much make as much as you possibly can right now. Why
yeah.
wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Oh,
And you
yeah,
can just use that money to invest in your business for the
yeah,
men's health down the road or whatever. Or you could invest that money, use it. I
mhm,
mean, take advantage of it. I mean,
yeah,
you might be able to take advantage of it for another 3 or 4 months and generate another $30,000, $40,000 in revenue. Um,
yeah,
or we might be able to get away with it for another year or two, or who knows? Maybe we'll just keep going back and forth until these things become
yeah.
generic, and then we don't have to worry about it ever again, right? Um,
No,
yeah, so it's just a
they're
big unknown.
they're coming out with ODT now, tirzepatide, so I'm trying that on several of my patients. because I think they're trying to pivot a little bit. Those pharmacies, or at least Empower is, that they came out with that, and tons of patients interested in that. So, so that's maybe a little bit, something, another alternative. And then I know the Eli Lilly reps visit me on a regular basis, and they now have, I don't know if you guys know, they have files now that you can. They work with Roe now, so so a vial of 2.5, and it just went down last week. So if you get a patient doesn't have any insurance, you can order them a vial of 2.5 for like $349, which is still expensive. You have to mark that up. And they have vials for 5, 7.5, and 10 now, which they're still higher than compounders, but that is an alternative if things just absolutely, I think they're catching up, or they're trying to get in there. Does that make sense? What they're
No,
yeah.
I mean, it's a smart business move for them. Why wouldn't they? They're still
Oh,
making
I know.
money, How much is the
Yeah.
how much is the 10 milligram vial?
So I have the old, I think the new one, I just looked on their website because they didn't have it for me, because it just got, I think it's like $4.99 for the 10 milligram.
That's through Eli Lilly.
That's through Eli Lilly. So when you go into your EMR, you will see a solution instead of injector pens. You'll see Zepbound solution, and that is the vial that a patient can go and buy, and they can, just like a compounder, but it's the real stuff. But then I have to mark it up higher, but it's still cheaper. I mean, so it's an alternative if compounders go away, or anything happens with that, they're doing that now. So let's say, a vial of 10 is $4.99. I would mark it up $6.50, which is still more expensive for 10. I don't know, but then at least it's better than over a grand. So, but
Right.
they're working with Roe now, they said. So Roe does tell them, it's like, anyhow.
So if you go that route, how much is it going to affect your profit margin? It affects it
Well,
for sure, but not by that much.
no, it shouldn't. I mean, so my demographic is kind of middle class here. I mean, so I think that would be expensive, but I think there are people who would be willing to pay for it. I mean, if things went, if you couldn't get it from a compounder anymore, I think people would probably, we might be surprised how many people would.
I
Uh,
I bet you'd probably be able to still keep 60,
yeah,
70% of your patients.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So that's an alternative. I mean, that's at least there. I hate doing that, but it's they're learning, I think, there. But it's like, hey, so if the compounders go away, we have that, and we can still mark it
Right.
up, like just like Contrave. I buy Contrave in bulk, and I mark it up here from the drug companies. They're catching on, I think.
Right. So yeah, you can always pivot, right? You can always do that. And worst case
Yeah,
scenario is if, people can't afford it or whatever, you can still use contract, you can still use Fentanyl, you can still
yeah.
do the old school stuff that works.
Or the reels up bound, yeah, exactly, and just do
Right,
the.
right. Okay, so anyway, so then you can pivot from there. Yeah. Keep marketing the weight loss. It's stupid not to. Keep taking advantage of that. So I guess my overall advice for you then is I don't know if I would just go straight all in on men's health right now.
Okay.
Definitely focus on it and make it something that you can grow long term. But if you're still making money with weight loss, I think you should still focus on that, but
Okay.
just be prepared for when the time comes, or if the time comes and we can't do the
Yeah.
compounded stuff anymore, then what do? It sounds like you already have a plan in place. And if for some reason, you can't do compounded GLP-1s anymore, well, you still have the men's health to, lean back on, and you can still
Yeah.
do the pharmaceutical brand stuff. You can still do contrary phentermine, whatever. So,
Yeah.
it's going to be a hit to your profit, but it's not going to be a huge hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Right now,
So,
yeah. So
yeah.
should be.
So one option you could do is if you wanted to start growing that men's health component. So I guess you could do two things. You can keep doing just exactly what you're doing, but focus more heavily on marketing men's health, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Start really trying to get more men's health patients in the door through what you already have. Change the website up just a little bit,
Okay.
throw some ads out there for testosterone replacement therapy, whatever, call it a
Mhm.
day. Or the other option could be you do create another website that's strictly for men's health.
Mhm.
You create two Google business listings at the same address. Oftentimes you can do that. Um, I've been able to create 2 Google business listings at the same address before. I've had no problem with that. So if you create 2 Google business listings, one strictly for men's health, nothing else, and then one strictly for weight loss, have 2 separate websites, advertise both under your brand name, right? Your brand, Men's Health Testosterone Clinic, your brand, Weight Loss Clinic, send it out in the world and just kind of see what happens. I don't think you need to separate bank accounts or LLCs or anything like that. Just keep everything the same. Just DBA it, right? That would be an option too. That would take a little bit more work, and it probably cost you, a few $1,000 to get a decent website going and stuff. But yeah, that'd probably be pretty much it. So, where are you kind of leaning towards there?
What's that?
So, what would you be leaning towards if you did that?
Oh, as far as whether to do 2 websites or
Yeah.
I thought about that. I thought about doing another website. I have a website designer right now that does my mine right now, and I thought about just changing. But I might just have him see if we could try another one, and that's what I wanted to ask you about. It's a lot of work, but I could do that. See what happens.
It shouldn't be that much work, really. Mainly because for the web developer, they could literally just copy the website that you have.
Yeah.
Create a different domain, literally copy all the content from it over to the new site.
Yeah,
it's already built. And you just change the content and you change the branding just a little bit. I wouldn't imagine it'd be that hard to do.
Okay.
Yeah, if they want to charge you for a completely new rebuild, be like, hey, wait a second. No, it's bullshit. You're not rebuilding a completely new website here. Like, just literally copy what you got, and we're just going to rebrand it. It's literally it. Under a separate domain name. That's it. All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all Elite Nurse Practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and that other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, I looked at some ads, and you have they're just very, they're very masculine. And I thought, well, maybe if I went went all out on that end. And my son plays college football, and he's like, Mom, I could get some of my friend, to do peptides. We could be your models, and and then I could get some middle-aged guys in there and just really go for it. Because I feel like it's just me and my other female office manager, and I'm like, I need some more manly influence in here, maybe, I don't know, on my website. And I don't know, but just playing around with that, just trying to create it. I don't know.
Yeah, so for the website branding perspective of it, you'd have, from the website branding perspective, you'd have, male pictures or whatever. You can just use stock images. This is all we do.
Yeah, that's true.
But if it's all women working in the practice, men don't care. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't usually care. They're just So.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I would just do that. Try to keep it as simple as possible. Keep everything the same. EMR, keep it all the same, but just have a different website, have a different Google business listing, create different ads, and see what happens.
Cool. I mean, I like women. I don't mind treating women. It's just they postmenopausal women. I mean, but perimenopausal, they're so complicated. They're just all tired and so complicated, and it's not that I mind it. I mean, I'll do it, but it's just not my passion as much.
Right. What I have found with women, I mean, I treat maybe a few dozen women at my men's health clinic, and they're mostly the wives of patients or whatever.
Right.
what I have found is that if I just put them on just straight testosterone and nothing else, no progesterone, no estrogen, nothing,
Yeah.
just straight testosterone, that they tend to feel better and it's super easy, right? And then I check their hormones and their estrogen's still at a good level, like they're
Yeah.
aromatizing some and
Yeah.
yeah,
Testosterone will help it a little,
yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good idea. I heard you tell someone else that too, that just, I think I just keep it simple. Hey, let's try some testosterone. I don't even, if I see their lab, I'm like, if they want it, we can talk about it, but let's try some testosterone and just, yeah, not,
That's literally it. It's super easy. I just do a topical cream,
okay.
10 milligrams a day. That
Okay.
usually is all you got to do. Like 10 milligrams a day. It gets their total, it gets their total testosterone level up to 100,
Yeah.
kind of around there. Their free testosterone to, 7 or whatever. And they feel great.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
That sounds,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. I think
Uh,
that easy keeps it a little simpler.
exactly. You don't have to compound progesterone and estrogens and all these creams and manage all this stuff and cause breakthrough bleeding and all. Yeah. Just do a little testosterone.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Um, so is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of the men's health component and your current
So,
clinic?
I don't think so. Just a side question. What percentage of men would you say do cream as opposed to injection in your office? I know that's the random question, but just, or do you really even know? I mean,
5%
okay.
do cream.
I was just
Yeah.
curious.
Um,
Okay.
I'm personally, so I've gone in between creams and injections personally.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm about 170, 175 pounds. I'm pretty lean. So it's
Hmm.
mostly muscle.
Hmm.
Um, and my testosterone dose on injection is anywhere between 80 to 100 milligrams a week.
Hmm.
It's
Okay. Not much.
I don't need to be on that much, but that gets my total testosterone level to 1200,
Uh-huh.
and my free testosterone level is between 25 and 30
Uh-huh.
on 80 to 100 milligrams a week. I just don't need that much. I'm
Yeah.
a slow metabolizer of the testosterone, right?
Uh-huh.
With cream, I go back and forth between them. I personally like cream better. I feel better on it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't aromatize as much, so I don't have any kind of estrogenic side effects
Uh-huh.
on cream. It also decreases the erythrocytosis, so you don't really get these big spikes in hemoglobin hematocrit. Um, the only downside is that you have to apply it every single day, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a
Yeah.
pain in the ass. And so that's the reason why I go to injections sometimes, just because I'm sick and tired of applying it, right?
Yeah.
But in my experience, the guys that I do put on cream do tend to just feel better because,
Yeah.
yeah, it mimics the natural peaks and trough of
Mhm.
testosterone in the body, right? So in most men, their testosterone peaks in the early morning hours and then it kind of slowly goes down throughout the day. So with a testosterone cream, if you apply it first thing in the morning, it goes up and it kind of goes down and you experience that same natural, peak and trough of
Ah.
testosterone with the cream. And there's less side effects too. Um, and so most guys do better on cream, to be honest with you, but most guys
Mhm.
just don't have the discipline to apply it every single day. That's usually the problem. It's usually a
Yeah.
compliance thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
Um,
finding guys really like the creams. And so
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So unless I just don't put it by their toothbrush, unless they absolutely, yeah, like you said, just don't want to do it daily. I'm having a lot of good luck with that. And so I think, yeah, once you get them past thinking that just because they're not injecting something, it's not, um, so I was just curious what other
Exactly.
people,
Yeah.
because I am kind of going, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, put it next to their toothbrush in the morning. When you brush your teeth
Yeah.
in the morning, apply your testosterone. It's really not that difficult, right?
Yeah.
Um, have you noticed though with the testosterone cream, I usually have to dose it a lot higher than injections. So like if let's say if I'm on 80 to 100 milligrams
Right.
a week
Uh-huh.
with testosterone cream, I'm on 150 to 200 milligrams a day. That's what I
Yes. Yes. I have found that I have to dose it just a little bit higher, and I give them a little bit of autonomy. Sometimes, like just depending on they can go up some clicks, on the. So I'm still trying to kind of, but yes, I do notice that they have to go up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So,
And
um,
and checking the levels can be somewhat unpredictable.
yes,
It kind of just, yeah, you're not going to see, if you have someone injecting testosterone twice a week on
mhm,
Monday and Thursday, every single time you check their level, it should be somewhat consistent in nature, right? Both
yeah,
testosterone cream, you'll definitely see a lot of ups and downs. So like for me, example, if I'm on cream, I'll check my testosterone level. It'll be 1400, and then I'll check it again 6 to 8 weeks later, and it's 400. And so it really depends on what time of day that you check the level after you apply it. And so what I
yeah,
usually do is I have my patients, let's check your level about 3 or 4 hours after you apply. And in theory, that should show me kind of your peak, that way I kind of know, have a general idea.
okay, well, that's good. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm finding too that I'm checking lab a little bit sooner with the cream just to make sure that I'm not, that it's working than the injections. Maybe about 4 weeks. I don't know if it really matters, but I'm kind of going. At first I was doing mostly injections. Now I'm transitioning over to cream, and I've been listening to it's Dr. Jordan Grant. I've kind of been listening. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's like a kind of interesting. He's a urologist. And he has a men's health practice in Utah. Anyway, he has some good podcasts about creams and things like different. So I don't know. But I'm starting to prescribe a lot more of it and guys,
Yeah.
they like it. They're much happier with it. So
Yeah. No, I tend to agree. Just it's less side effects overall.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
very rarely ever have anyone complain of a estrogenic side effect on cream. It just doesn't
yeah,
happen. Yeah.
yeah,
Like I don't hear complaints of erectile dysfunction or moodiness or um, you know, fluid retention. I don't hear those complaints with cream. I don't see spikes in H on cream. I just don't. It's honestly I think it's probably a safer option. So,
yeah. Makes you wonder if there's something in the carrier or something like in the testosterone. It's not the testosterone itself with some of that. I don't know. But anyway, with the increasing their hematocrits. So, but yeah, I'm becoming a fan. So,
yeah.
but
I think what
still
it
learning.
comes down to is that you're not getting a huge spike like you do with an injection.
Yeah,
So when you inject 120 milligrams, once a week, or even 60 milligrams twice a week or whatever, you're getting these huge spikes of the testosterone, and those spikes are what cause that erythrocytosis. Those spikes are
yeah,
what cause the aromatization. And so with the testosterone cream, it's just more of a lower, steady dose with these little peaks and troughs, and it just doesn't cause these. It doesn't have these huge spikes that cause those side
yeah.
effects. Yeah,
That's nice. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm a
Um,
fan.
all right. Well, anything else with men's health?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about this LegitScript certified thing. So you went through the process. So how long did it take total?
4.5 months. So,
4.5 months.
hmm yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think, yeah, 4.5 months. And, I would kind of check in every now and then. Hey, what's going on? And they would send, I mean, they'll send you kind of like a little bit update, like maybe once every month, like, hey, we know it's taking a while due to the high volume of applications, we're working on it, which, I mean, I guess that was, at least I knew that they were, didn't, lose things, but yeah, it took a long time. And then they come back and they just keep wanting more and more questions. They have more and more questions. And I thought, why don't you just ask me all of this in the beginning? So yeah, it was a headache. I don't know if you've talked to a lot of people that have been through it as well. But so far, I think I'm hoping it's going to be worth it because it's expensive. I mean, it'll be worth it if it's, but yeah, I could not run one single freaking ad at all. Um, I couldn't do anything. I mean, I couldn't, like, I would try to like take every drug term out of the ad that anything that really, but then I'm like, well, what good is this going to do if I can't do any of this? So, so anyway, and so what I found is that, Google obviously goes to your website ultimately and sees all of it there. So then you pretty much have to take all that down off your website if you want to run an ad. And like, who wants to do, who wants to do that? So yeah, that took a long time,
How much did it
but,
cost?
it was $1,000 to apply, which, and then 2,000 once you get the certification. So, so yeah, and I think now they have something. I think you can maybe expedite it for another 1,500, which I would, $1,000, which I would highly recommend. Now I wish I would have done that. I didn't think it'd take this long. I had no clue. I thought maybe a couple months or something, but I would have done that in the beginning. Wait, I would have done it.
So if you expedite it,
I
you're
want to
looking
say
at
it was like
about $4,000 or
$1,000.
$5,000 total.
Yeah, like about four grand total. I would say if you expedited it, and so about 3,000 just otherwise. But it does take a long time because pharmacies are trying to do it, and like pharmacy came in the other day. They're especially the smaller pharmacies are doing it. A lot of the smaller ones like Link and well, South End, some of those, but like Empower's not legit script certified. South Lake's not. Um, so Olympia is.
Yeah, got it. So a $4,000 investment,
Mhm.
10 weight loss clinics or 10 weight loss patients pay for that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the second week I had 6 new patients. And yeah, and and then the first week I had 3 because I just run a partial week, and then this week I'll see. I got a couple inquiries on my emails. Some of them are spam. You have to be careful. You get a whole bunch. So I talked to my website guy about that, and he's like, "Well, I can do some things, but you're going to get some of it, which is fine." But I've still, in 1 week, I thought that was pretty good, and that's the only thing I changed.
Yeah.
So,
So it's going to
so, but
legitimately, like it'll literally pay for itself within a month.
yeah, it already, it has pretty, I mean, it's getting there already, so,
Yeah.
but I have to learn how to figure out now. My part is I have to learn how to optimize these Google ads. And I really have to, like I've got it on my phone and I'm just like trying to study it and figure out like what keywords are working, how are they performing every day. And I check in on every morning now. I'm kind of getting obsessed, but just trying to learn how to optimize the ad and just see how things go. I have one campaign going and I just started another one last night. Um, so I don't know. What's your experience? What's your experience with running ads? Or do you have somebody do it for you? Like,
No, I pretty much do it all myself.
yeah,
I'm with you. I would much rather manage my Google ads and
yeah.
stuff by myself. It's not that hard.
No one
You
else
know,
is going to do, if you pay someone else, no one else is going to be looking at your ad performance every day and making changes for you like you are. So,
correct. No one cares about your business more than you. Nobody.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
you got to
Um,
learn it.
yeah, yeah. No, I do most of my Google ads myself. I get around it by just not mentioning the words, testosterone or whatever. I just,
Yeah,
Men's Health Clinic, and I tend to get approved.
yeah.
Um, I don't
Does
know,
your
just because maybe
website say, does your website say testosterone? Like,
I think my Google ad account is old enough before they started coming down on it that I guess I
yeah,
bypassed the algorithm or something. I don't know.
that might
I've gotten
be.
away with it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm the exception, not the rule for this. I haven't had a problem with it personally. But I do know a lot of other clinics who've gone through the process of getting LegitScript certified, and I have yet to hear a single one say it wasn't worth it. Like,
Okay.
it's worth it. Like,
Yeah, it
yeah.
is. So
So
far,
with
I
that,
think it's very, very worth it.
yeah. So, so with that said, you mentioned that you were wanting to help some other NPs and some other
Yeah.
clinics go through the process because you just got through you just went through the process. You understand what it is.
Yeah.
So I guess throw that out there for the listeners. Like if they
Yeah.
want to get legit script certified, so they can start advertising on Google
Yeah.
to start getting more people through the door. Talk
Yeah.
about this and offer whatever you want to offer. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that need some help.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. If anybody does want, just to save anyone the headache that I went through. Oh my gosh, was horrible. I would be more than willing to help anyone. As far as giving my contact information, anyone in this group or anything. I mean, just like everyone else has been so good about, sharing. Sharing my information. I don't know how I would do that, Justin. If someone wanted my email or how.
If you want to, just throw your email out there. I mean, just throw
Yeah.
an email out there, and people can email you.
Okay.
About getting help with legit, with getting help with getting LegitScript certified. I mean, I think throwing an email out there is completely fine.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, my email is pharma weight help, WEIGHTHELP @gmail.com, which I'm working on fixing that because I don't like the Gmail in it. But anyway, that was from the beginning. But that is what, if you want to contact me, and I'd be more than happy to help with that. Anybody.
Yeah.
So pharma weight help, yeah, .com @gmail.com. So
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah,
pharma weight help at gmail.com.
@gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah.
And that's
So
pharma, PHARMA.
yes. So
Weight.
my business is Farm Assist, PHARMA, capital ASSIST, and then it's weight man. So that would be that. So then anything is like a DBA under that. If I would start something new, is under Farm
Yeah.
Assist.
Yeah. Got
So
it. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Hopefully you'll be able to help some people out. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out
yeah.
there that don't really have the time to do it. And,
Sure.
if you develop kind
Yeah.
of the processes on how to do it, then by all means, like, see if you can help some folks out.
Yeah. I would be
Yeah.
more than happy to. So
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So
Well, do you have any other questions?
no, I just, yeah, when I looked online, because I was thinking, well, maybe this is something that, if people need help with, because I'm always looking for different things that I can be doing, kind of like little, branching, outside of my practice, what's the next thing I can be doing. And then I just kind of look, the more I listen to your podcast, that, like I said, that was kind of a pain point for people is, um, help with that. And then some, I noticed some people are like, well, I can't get my ads to run. I can't, so, um, I think a lot of people are aware of it, but I don't know if a lot of people realize they have to have that. I mean, I don't know. I think your podcast has helped because you kind of made people aware of that. But so
Yeah. Yeah.
it,
Okay. I'd like to end the episode with you asking me a question. Do you have a question for me, a personal curiosity or anything like that?
is that your condo? It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's on the 12th
This is
story. Yeah, I'm here in Colorado.
it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I got a hell of a view. I mean, there's
Yeah.
got the Rocky Mountains right there. It's pretty
Oh
cool.
my goodness.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a transitionary place, though. I'm honestly, it's just an Airbnb.
Uh-huh.
So I'm getting my own place actually
Okay.
here in about a week or two. So it's a cool
Okay.
place to live for a couple months.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So your men's health clinics, you just kind of manage those from a distance then, and or do you still have how many do you have? You have a couple of them, don't you? Or do
Correct. Yeah, I don't really
you,
do anything.
yeah.
I
That's
don't
so
really.
nice.
I don't really do shit anymore with our
Oh,
men's health clinics.
uh-huh.
I don't manage them. I don't
Hmm.
I don't do the day to day stuff whatsoever. I literally log in on on Mondays to do some telemedicine visits for a couple hours, and that's pretty much it.
That's great. That's where we all want to be. I tell you.
Yeah, no, you'll
And
get
then,
there. You
yeah,
gotta find that key player. Like you gotta
yeah,
find you gotta find that key player that can run your practice for you. That
yeah.
office manager. That's really the key. You gotta find someone you can trust
Hmm.
that knows your practice, knows your business, and let them just take the reins.
Yeah.
It's just what you got to
I've
do.
got a good one. I'm training her, and it has helped. But I think, yeah, because I had asked you a little bit about her, hiring her. She's turned out to be fantastic. My patients are like, Madison is wonderful. She's, she works on the weekends too. She's answering messages right now. I'm like, Madison, you don't have to do this on a Sunday. And so yeah, she's been great so far. I mean,
Yeah,
well worth it. Yeah.
there you
So
go.
I'm hoping yeah, free me up for some more marketing. That's my biggest goal now, is to focus on marketing. And yeah, I
Yeah,
still need to quit my job, but I think I think I could at this point. Yeah, I think I could at this point, but
yeah.
um
taking that leap and leaving your job to focus on your business it's scary, but
Mhm.
but
It
when
is.
you do it though,
Mhm.
you'll see your
I
business
know.
grow.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That's what yeah. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
cool.
Okay. Well, I appreciate. Yeah, I wanted to pick your brain about that. I just didn't know, like, would that be something people would want? Is help with legit script or just yeah? I mean, I'd be more than willing. And I thought, well, I'd reach out to you by email, and then I'm glad you scheduled a podcast. We could talk about it. So
Yeah. I have a suspicion you'll get some emails.
good. I hope
Yeah.
so. Good. Yeah, I'd love
Cool.
to help people because it was such a pain in the ass. Anyway,
Yeah.
so and do you have a lot? One more question. Do you have a lot coming to your event here this month? It's in April, end of April. Aren't you having? You're
Cor-
having a conference.
yeah, correct. It's about a month from now. Yeah, the Millionaire Conference. Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
I'm looking at trying to get to that. So
yeah, we have 40 or 50 enrolled at this point. Yeah,
okay,
so we try to cap it around 60 or something like that. So
okay.
there's still some seats available. Yeah, yeah.
You
No, it should be
said
fun. It's gonna be in Florida, and it'll be nice.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I'm gonna look at that. So
yeah. Cool, awesome. All right. Well,
okay.
listen, I appreciate you coming out here on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Thanks,
keep
Justin.
me updated.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye bye.
I hope everyone enjoyed the episode with Kate. She's doing pretty well in terms of her little wellness clinic. She wants to integrate, more men's health into it. And I don't blame her. Men's health is super easy, but I don't think it's a good idea for her to go all in on it at this point. She can still make decent money with weight loss and, GLP-1s. So it's not a good idea to throw away, a decent money revenue stream, really. You don't want to throw away money in your practice if you don't have to. So she should do the weight loss and then focus on the men's health as well. Grow the men's health so that way if something happens with GLP-1s, she's not going to be scrambling. So, if anyone's listening to this, definitely start building out these more complementary services. Start building out these additional service lines. So if something does happen to the GLP-1s, you're not going to be scrambling because there's a lot of people out there that 70-80% of their revenue is coming from GLP-1s alone. And if something happens to those, what are you going to do? So for her, she should grow the men's health, but also continue making money with the GLP-1s. And becoming LegitScript certified is definitely worthwhile. You can start advertising on Google without having to worry about your ads being, not approved and turned down. And, she's just been LegitScript certified for a couple weeks now, and she's already gotten, almost 10 patients or whatever it is. That's pretty good return on your investment. So if you're looking to get LegitScript certified, definitely look into that. I think it's definitely worthwhile. And Kate said she's more than happy to, help you out. So maybe holler at her if you need some help. All right. Hope everyone enjoyed this episode. We're going to start doing some more video podcasts here. So, that way you can actually see our faces during the talk. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.